Today I want to talk about the video by Isis titled I Married a Monster. But more specifically, I want to talk about a lot of the comments that I saw saying that predators target single mothers solely to get to their children. I saw a lot of those comments, and if you've been around, then you know I talk a lot about single motherhood. I am a single mother. So I actually went back and watched her first video just to get a little bit of an understanding of what their history was, and so that I could actually speak intelligently more than, you know, what was more than the context that was in the video I Married a Monster, just to see if, you know, I could hear, just to get a little bit more context of, you know, where she was coming from. And I want to address some of the ways that I personally feel like this could have been avoidable. And no, I'm not saying by any means that this is her fault. It's not her fault. But I do want to say that there are things that you can do to prevent things like this. There are things that maybe, who knows how long it was going on, and could have been brought to her attention sooner in the event that it did happen. Things like that. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Red flag number one, when she talked about the age difference. Now, I get it. We all grown, right? And some people have that mentality where y'all feel like when you get to a certain age, the gap doesn't matter, or it's not really a difference because you're grown, right? But if you really think about some age differences, to me personally, are ridiculous. If you're old enough to have birthed me, or you know to have had me as your child, you're too old for me. And the reason why I say that, and the reason I look at it that way, is because what could we possibly, like, let's be real, like, what could we possibly have in common? If I'm just born and you're 20 years old or 25 or whatever, because I know this guy was at least 20 years her senior. Why it's just, I don't know, I could never, right? Like, so even if it was me looking at somebody 20 years younger than me, I just couldn't, you know, like, what is that little boy going to do for me? That's how I look at it, you know what I mean? So I just can't see why a man would find a woman that much younger attractive, and she's an attractive female, but why are you as an old man attracted to something so much younger? That, you know, where's your mentality to have to go that young? You know, like, are you looking for somebody to manipulate? That's what comes to mind. Are you looking for somebody you can control? Is that where your mindset is when you're going for someone that much younger than you? And if I'm pretty much a little girl to you, what would make you think that they're not looking at other little girls? So that's kind of where my mind is on that specific subject. Another thing, she came from desperation. She needed somewhere to stay, and she did not know this man. That's like, and I'm going to touch on that as well. Number one, you came from desperation. So you coming from desperation, you're willing to, you know, just move. And at the time, no, she did not have any little girls. She had 2 boys. However, to me, that doesn't matter. But you go and move yourself and your children into a home with this man that you met on the internet, and you don't know. You married him within a week. You don't know him, right? And she was desperate. She needed somewhere to stay. But you can never be so desperate that you put your child or children in danger. That's That's like red flag number one. I mean, you didn't have any, like, the first thing that would have come to mind for me would have been family, friends, people I've known for a long time, not some man that I met off the internet. Like, no. You just, it's just, my kids just means way too much more to me. And even if I had to go, I don't know, sleep on somebody's floor, I'm not taking my kids to some strange man's home and, you know, playing Russian roulette with whatever history he has. No. I just felt like that was something that she shouldn't have done. And I hope she learns from it. Another thing is, I personally don't feel like any man should meet your children within the first 6 months. That's how I roll. My reason for that is you don't know them. And that's why I said I was going to touch on that. You don't know him. Even in 6 months, you don't know him. But at least you know a little bit more. When she said she married him within a week, and even in the early stages of the marriage, so I'm assuming within 6 months, he already had sexually assaulted her the first of the 4 times that he did. I don't know how, you know, often it occurred. I don't know any of that. All I know is she already said as soon as they got married, which, you know, which would have been within that 6 month period, you would have known, oh, I'm dealing with a rapist. You know what I mean? Like, I'm dealing with somebody who can't control their sexual urges. So if you are, you know, if had she taken the time to learn that about him, maybe then she would have seen that as a red flag. And now you're married to him, and a lot of people do take marriage extremely seriously. But my thing is this: if you take marriage extremely seriously, why, or extremely serious, then why would you marry somebody within a week? That's somebody you're looking to be with for the rest of your life. You can't say that somebody that you met within a week is the one. I don't care what nobody say. You don't know. I even say I feel like it takes years to really get to know somebody the way that you want to know your husband or wife. You know what I mean? So I just don't feel like she gave it even enough time to get to know him herself before introducing her children to the situation. And there is no rule as far as how much time between, you know, you dating somebody and them meeting your children. No, it's no rule. It's no rule book on that. I personally, like I said, have my own, and that's at least 6 months. But other people, especially if you're putting, you know, have them in a setting where it's not in public. You know what I mean? So, and they were in his house. So clearly that wasn't in public. I don't even, and when you're dating somebody, which I feel like in the first week, definitely, or in the first few months, because I think she did like go out with him before she got into another serious relationship or something like that. But when you're getting to know somebody, they don't even know where I live, you know, because off of the simple fact that my kids lay their heads here. You know what I mean? Like, when you're getting to know somebody, you need to, like, not, you know, it's a safety thing. They could be crazy. Like, you don't know their health records. You know, you don't know their health history or their mental issues. You don't know them. And that's the point that I'm trying to get across. That's the point that I'm trying to make. She did not know him, and however long they've been married, or she stayed in this marriage, now she's getting to know the real him, and unfortunately it's at the expense of their daughters. Another thing, and I said that I was going to address this in the beginning of the video, is that one thing that I've always done with my children, people will sit up there and they'll teach babies, I'm talking babies that can't talk, to point to pictures and words, or to be able to articulate reading and or to identify things, right? So one of the things that I've always done with my children at bath time, when they were, I'm talking little, like, my kids were, well, my daughter specifically, she was a little bit more advanced as far as when she started talking, she just was talking, I mean, full sentences and everything, 10 months old. But I would say a fair age is 1 year old, right? 1 year old, start having those conversations in the tub, while they're in the tub, point out their body parts, tell them what they're called, let them know nobody's supposed to touch that. If that ever happens, or in the event that that happens, the first thing I want you to do is tell me. If I'm home or another adult is in the home, you scream like you have lost your mind. Scream like, you know, scream to the top of your lungs. You can tell them that. You may not be able to say scream like this or scream like that, especially at 1 or 2 years old, but you can tell them, if anybody does this to you, I want you to scream, kick, cry, fight, and you come straight to me. If anybody threatens you, I put all of it out there, so that in the event that any of those scenarios would ever occur, they knew what to do. Now, I've never been, you know, touched or anything as a child. That never happened to me. However, I had friends that it happened to, and you know, it just I know it happens. I'm not oblivious to the fact that it does happen, right? And my kids now are like they're 13 and 17 now, so I feel like for the most part I'm pretty much out the woods with that, but I have always like put it out there. This is, if in the event that anybody, I don't care who it is, you're not, you know, this is not to be, you know, touched. You know, you let them know appropriate touch, inappropriate touch, what, you know, when you're being washed, this is different than that, you know. Just you kind of break those things down, maybe at a more advanced age. But sometimes kids will try to, like, when they're little, you just let them know, and they'll try to tell you, and sometimes they'll explain it and let you know exactly what the situation is, and it may not be anything, but it's better to be safe than sorry, because they can explain what they're trying to say, and or show you what they're saying, you know, because sometimes kids misinterpret things. But if you say it in a way that they understand, then they can tell you. But she had to actually ask her 4-year-old, right? So, but for her 4-year-old told her, which means that those conversations weren't being had. You know what I mean? So, and that's what I'm saying. If you tell them or be proactive with that subject, it could have come to her the first time it happened. It could have, the baby may have like screamed her head off, and he may not have gotten however as far or however many times he got to do it, because she trained her in the beginning, this is what is a no-no, and this is what you do in that situation. And I just want to say, I just put that out there because she may just not have thought that, you know, just not have thought to do that. I don't know. I mean, I know she said she was actually, she felt like she was being very vigilant with her children because of things that happened to her, and, you know, some of the history that she had. But that's one of the first things, and I'm talking young, unfortunately. Like, look how young they were. Unfortunately, yes, you have to have these conversations younger than you'd like it to be, or younger than you feel comfortable feeling like you even have to come to your child and talk about it. It's the world we live in. And the last thing that I want to talk about is that on this channel, I talk to single moms a lot. I talk about the importance of having your own in the event that you do have to leave somebody. If you're in that position, she's in a horrible position. I don't know where she is now or where she's staying now, but at the end of the day, if you're ever in any type of position, like even when she was assaulted the first time, you know, if she had been in a position, instead of having to depend on him for everything, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a man doing this thing for you. But always have your own, regardless. Always protect yourself. Always look out for you. And that's what I talk about. Like, that's what I teach over here. If you want to give your child a certain life, if you want to, I don't know, whatever. Like, my mom taught me to own a house first. So for me, that's why I'm like, okay, that was important to me. Okay, I have to own a house, regardless of what a man I married, regardless of what we do together, whatever we grow together. Cool. But I always have to have my own, and that's my own money, my own plate, somewhere to stay in the event he start acting stupid. Like anything, I just need to have my bag, and more importantly, I need to have my kids' bags, because if I can't give them that, I'm that vulnerable. Things like that, like when she was assaulted, maybe that may be why she didn't leave. Maybe her kids were now going taking it to her kids. That probably was what that obviously was too far. That took it too far. It may not have even had to get that far had she been in the position on her own to handle her own. And so anyway, yeah, so if you are new here, welcome. And a lot of what I talk about is buying a house as a single mom, affording private school as a single mom, like I said, giving that life, affording travel as a single mom, like taking your kids out of town, out of the country, whatever lifestyle that lifestyle looks like for you. I want you to know that you are able to do it by yourself. You don't need a man in order to do those things. Is it nice to have one? Absolutely. Is it nice to have one providing for you? That's even better. However, I want you to always have you. And I talk about entrepreneurship too, but I'm about to go even deeper on entrepreneurship to help anybody in service-based business, because that's where I feel like I thrive. I've done the product-based business as well, and I still actually have one, but I feel like I have more experience in service-based, so that is what I'm going to be talking about, but I'm going to be deep diving into that too. So that's pretty much the video. If anybody is interested in that topic, single motherhood, how to do those things, how to look out for you as a single mom, and actually getting help with doing that, then look at my videos. You can also, I do have a sign up list for Single Mom to Self-Made, which is a membership that I will be rolling out soon. My wait list will be below. My name is khameleonkay and I love y'all. Bye.
It's do or die, only the strong survive. I'm on a lyrical front line with more sticks than the drum line. My battles never see light of day, but watch how sunshine sharp with the words, marked on the butter. How I cut mine for every verse, it's like prom night. They on my punchlines, a war going on outside. No man is safe from. They wait for opportunities, I'd rather take them. Others conform to the labels, I'd rather conflict. They wanna sit at the table, I'd rather John Wick. Look a liar right in the face and I take them on. My baby steps will break any pavement you think that's made this strong. My competition consists of cliques of these major frauds. Inspired to lead an empire, but they whole gang is gone. I earned that respect that's on my shoulder. I'm sitting on the throne how I'm supposed to. Swinging iron till the war is over. When it comes to the culture, I'll forever be a soldier.